All right, Scouts, it's time to go ahead and get started on our first responder adventure. So when we say first responder, what we're really talking about is learning some basic first aid. First aid is that help that you can help provide in the event that you come across a serious accident or somebody with a major medical emergency. This medical emergency might be something like serious bleeding, heart attack or stroke, or something less serious like an insect bite, a cut, a scrape, or something like that. But that care that you provide between something happening and professional help arriving, like an ambulance, an EMT, a doctor, something like that, that is what's called first aid, and that's what we're going to start learning now. The Scout motto is, of course, to be prepared. So in this adventure, I'm going to help teach you some of the steps that you can take if you come across a medical emergency. The first thing that you always want to remember before you jump into action is to check to make sure that it's safe for you and anyone that you're with. It doesn't help anyone if you're trying to help someone that's injured and you get injured yourself. Who would be there to help you? So you always want to check the scene to make sure that it's safe for you to proceed forward and take action. Second step is to calm down and think. What is it that you need to do? What action needs to be taken? Before you just jump in and start to take action, just take a step back and think for just a moment, what needs to be done? And one more thing, before you take that action, call 911. Get professional help on the way, so as soon as they're there, they can take over and provide that medical support that they need. If you happen to have someone with you and you need to call for help, it's important that you be very clear on the instructions of what to do. Not everyone knows that they need to call 911. All right, so if you're with another scout or you're with a friend or just someone passes by, they don't know what you know, or don't assume that they know what you know. Tell them, hey, please go call 911. This person is injured. We need an ambulance. Be very clear with what they need to do. If and when you call 911, you're going to need to give them a little bit of information. First of all, they're going to ask who's calling, so give them your name. If you know the name of the person that's injured, give them their name. You're going to need to tell them what happened and where you are. In order for them to send the right type of medical help to the right place, they need to know that information. So remember, whether it's you or somebody else calling 911, they need to know who you are and who's injured, what happened, and where you are. The last thing I want to mention before we get into actual steps in first aid is to try not to move the person that is injured unless not doing so could potentially cause more harm. And what are some examples of what may cause them more harm? Well, if an injured person is nearby a fire, you might want to move them away from a fire. If they're injured in the road, you probably want to get them off the road. But otherwise, allow the trained medical professionals to move an injured person to another location to get the care they need, unless that situation puts them or you in further harm.